Class. Our story today is titled But Not Gino. It is written by the author Shari Lyon and illustrated by Lyon. Now, this book is special to me. A couple of years ago, Mrs. Crew and I went to California to an animal park in San Diego. And while we were there, we met the author, Shari Lyon, and she was showing her books. And so we bought some, and she mailed them to us, and she wrote a note to you. But not Gino, right here. It says January 2018 to Three Sisters School. Remember, you're all just the right size to make your biggest dreams come true. Shari Lyon. With this book, there is a CD of Shari Lyon reading the story. So today, I'll hold the book and we will listen to the author, Shari Lyon, do the reading.
Shari Lyon, the author, and I'm going to read the book to you now. But not Gino. All giraffes are tall, everyone knows that. Most giraffes are tall, but not Gino. Gino was a short giraffe. The tall giraffes could stretch their necks to get the tender new leaves that grew high up on the trees, but not Gino. He had to settle for the tough leaves close to the middle of the trees and the leftovers that fell to the ground. The tall giraffes could see danger coming from far away because they could see above the heads of the other animals on the savanna, but not Gino. He had to wait with the other herd animals for the tall giraffes to warn that danger was coming. The tall giraffes would hang out with each other face to face while they stood in the shade of the tall trees, but not Gino. He didn't like to hang out much. Gino liked to go off by himself and sing. One afternoon, after the herds had all visited the water hole, Gino went off by himself to stand beside a tall termite mound that was near a big boulder so he could sing to himself. I know I'm small, but maybe tall enough to share a smile, tall enough to play a game, tall enough to be a friend to you, to stand beside you in the rain. I know I'm small, but maybe tall enough to share a story, tall enough to wish you well, tall enough to hum a tune to you on this lovely sunshine day. When Gino finished singing his song, he smiled and leaned his head on the big warm boulder beside him. Gino closed his eyes. Before long, Gino heard voices. Was he dreaming? Gino opened his eyes. Peeking around the rock were the faces of some of the young animals, wildebeests, impalas, zebras, and even springboks. Why did you stop singing, Gino? Asked one of the young wildebeests, shaking her shaggy mane. We were almost asleep when you stopped. Yes, added a young impala. Please sing your song again. Gino blinked his eyes a few times to make sure he was really awake. Really? Gino asked. Do you like my song? Yes, the young animals all said at once. Said Gino. He had never thought of anyone else liking his singing. So Gino sang his song again. I know I'm small, but maybe tall enough to share a smile, tall enough to play a game, tall enough to be a friend to you, to stand beside you in the rain. I know I'm small, but maybe tall enough to share a story, tall enough to wish you well, tall enough to hum a tune to you on this lovely sunshine day. When his song was over, Gino looked behind the big boulder. Sure enough, there the animals were, all sound asleep. Gino started to walk around the boulder to sit beside his friends, but he was stopped in his tracks by the scratchy voice of a father wildebeest. How did you do that, Gino? He asked. I just sang to them, Gino said. I'm so glad. We have a long walk ahead of us tomorrow to find a new water hole. It's good that the young ones are getting nice rest today. But I didn't know giraffes could make sounds, let alone sing, said the father wildebeest. Of course giraffes can make sounds, Gino said. The tall giraffes have long necks, so their voices sound too low for most other animals to hear. You're right about the singing, though. I don't think I ever heard the tall giraffes sing. Well, how about that? The father wildebeest said. You learn something new every day. And with a quick smile, a flick of his tail, and a toss of his great head, the wildebeest walked back to join the rest of the herd animals. Gino stood up and realized that he felt a little bit taller. He walked between the big boulder and the tall termite mound. Said Gino. I may be a small giraffe, but I think I am tall enough for the important things. And then, feeling quite content, Gino stretched up to his full height and walked back to join the tall giraffes. It was time to sing his song to them. I know I'm small, but maybe tall enough to share a smile, tall enough to play a game, tall enough to be a friend to you, to stand beside you in the rain. I know I'm small, but maybe tall enough to share a story, tall enough to wish you well, tall enough to hum a tune to you on this lovely sunshine day. And that is the story of Gino, the short giraffe who could sing. I hope you all enjoyed it and that you'll read it over and over again and sing the song whenever you want to feel tall.
And I don't know, boys and girls, but there's one more page here, and the author didn't read it, so maybe she added it later. I'll finish that. From that day on, Gino and the tall giraffes were friends, and they often joined him when he sang his song. It turns out, boys and girls, that Gino was just the right size.